feel like I look washed out. Whatever. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Brandon Lord. Welcome back to my channel. The dishwasher's going off. It's kind of loud. I can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it. You probably can. If you do, get over it. Anyways, for today's video, I'm starting a new series. I've wanted to do more accounting videos. I feel like I say that every accounting video I do. And I'm always at a standstill of what I can make. I don't know. I just find it hard to come up with accounting video ideas. So I was brainstorming one day because I wanted to do more. And I thought of the accounting diaries. What are the accounting diaries, you ask? I'll answer. Basically, I want to do this weekly where I kind of just pick an accounting topic that has affected me at work in the past or something I'm dealing with currently at work and just rant about it. Like a diary. You know, maybe you can relate to similar struggles. Maybe it can also open your mind to potential accounting struggles you may face, if you're currently pursuing a career and haven't found a job yet, or you're still in school. So I feel like it could be helpful and just a place for me to rant and get all my emotions out. With all that being said, for the first episode, I was trying to think about what to talk about. You know, this past week, I worked pretty late most of the week, and it was terrible. Hated it. Don't want to do that again. But we have a lot of stuff on our plate. We're currently trying to catch up and finalize a lot of 2021 stuff. But you know, we're preparing a lot for the auditors, and that's never fun. So there was just a lot of work to get done this specific week. So I stayed late a couple nights. It was terrible. But there was definitely a lot of challenges that I was facing during the week, which caused me to work late. There's two main ones. I'm gonna talk about the other one next week. I'm gonna be talking about ERP implementation, just ranting about it. So, pretty much, with my company, they recently, or fairly recently, had an ERP implementation process where they switched over from QuickBooks to Business Central Dynamics. And I think it was late last year. When I started a couple months ago, is it a couple months ago now? I feel like it just started. What's the date? It's literally will be 2 months on Thursday. But yeah, they recently underwent that ERP implementation, and you know, that's just never fun because you're switching systems, you're learning a new ERP system, and transferring all the data and hoping the data transfers correctly, and it's just a lot of change. So when I went in, they were pretty much fully in Business Central, but there's still a lot to do with QuickBooks. There's a lot of old information you have to go back to and to find certain things out. If you want to look at certain journal entries, find invoices, all that fun stuff. I will acknowledge that I do have some sort of privilege in this situation because my coworkers before me had to undergo the actual change. So changing from the QuickBooks to Business Central and you know, learning the new system and all those woes and struggles. So I acknowledge that. However, I feel like they had kind of an advantage because I go into this and it's mostly Business Central, but you know, still doing 2021 stuff and having to research things. I have to go back to QuickBooks and kind of learn that system from scratch, and I had never used QuickBooks before, so I feel like I had to learn 2 systems and they only really had to just learn one, and yeah. I feel like the main struggle with ERP implementation that I've come across this week, trying to find where a certain amount or where an account went from the first system to the next. And you would think it would be kind of easy because there's a file that shows the mapping of okay, well this account went to this new account number. And so it should be fine. Or you could even search like through the general ledger entries based off the description, the old account number, and you should be able to find that amount. However, that's probably easiest when the change first occurs and the amounts are transferred. But since it's been a few months, there's also been a lot of journal entries, moving stuff around. You find yourself in this wild goose chase where it's like, okay, so I'm trying to find, let's say, this one amount for a fixed asset, which fixed assets will be my next topic next week. But let's say it was in like computer equipment in QuickBooks. But for whatever reason in the ERP implementation, it got transferred in the new system to some random like other account. And so it's like, okay, finding that, see that, let's go look at this. But then that amount's not there because someone noticed when that happened that that was wrong. So then they did an entry to transfer that over to the correct computer equipment account. And it's also, you know, it's kind of hard to track because when the amounts are switched from one system to the next, it's not like it's individual, it's kind of, and I just kind of noticed this, like it's like a net change amount, so it's kind of a lump sum. It's a lump sum per month though. Didn't notice that at first, but learned that this week. So it's just like you can't really find that amount just looking at like a transaction detail. Like in the new system, you kind of have to go back and see like, okay, well what comprised this total for this month and all that. And then a lot of the time there's journal entries moving things around, and even though it says it went to this account, it's actually now in this account because someone did a journal entry to move it because it went to the wrong account. But then there was another journal entry that was made to switch it to an even different account because some other information was figured out. So it's basically this wild like chase, and it's just like an Easter egg hunt, and it's just like you can't seem to find it, and there seems to be just like an additional step to find just one amount. And granted, you find it, but it's just so time consuming that you get derailed from what you're trying to do, and it's not fun. Just ERP implementations aren't fun. Also, like, I'm not that big of a fan of Business Central as of yet. There's some parts, like, I've gotten used to it, but I just don't feel like it's all that user-friendly. At least as of right now. We're still learning stuff about it, and there's probably ways to make it more user-friendly, but as of right now, it's a bit confusing. I don't really like it. QuickBooks, I found actually, when I was like searching through it and like finding things and invoices and JEs, I'm like, this is a lot easier. Why did we switch? Like, I don't know. What caused this? But it's fine. Let me not. ERP implementation, although I think in the long run, it's like good, and it's like, okay, you're upgrading your system, you're using something that maybe will help your company more. When you're in a period where you kind of have to bounce back and forth between two things, like for instance, like we've been doing a lot of like roll forward reconciliations for 2021 and like, or revamping a lot of recons that weren't roll forwards into roll forwards. And so with that, there's like a tab that has all like the general ledger activity or like just the transaction detail to see where amounts are coming from. But because a portion of the period was from QuickBooks and the other portion was in Business Central, it's kind of like you have to research two different things and make sure those amounts tie. But then there were some entries that were to fix QuickBooks even though we were in BC. So it's just like, it's a lot of just like looking at the details and like just connecting the dots and kind of just like seeing what happens. And it's like, you know, a discovery, which is fine. But when you have so much to do, those little small things like in details and like just getting derailed and having to find out certain things, it's just so annoying. And then you end up working late and you hate everything. But you know, overall it's great. ERP implementation. Companies should do it more. I will say, I do want to acknowledge again to my coworkers that had to deal with the actual change that happened and not really just the aftermath. I salute you. I commend you. Good for you. I hope I never have to go through that. I dodged it also at my last company because they were using Lawson. And then when I started, I think I don't know how long they had switched like to Oracle, or like how long they were using Oracle, but I think it had been a little bit and they were pretty much caught up. So I wasn't really caught in the crossfires of the change and like having to figure all that out and like having to go back and forth. Like, I don't even think I was able to access really Lawson at all at my old company. So I'm 2 for 2 with dodging the actual change, but I'm definitely feeling the repercussions of it in this company, which is fine. You know, I'm learning 2 systems. And you know, it is what it is. It's just revamping my accounting skills and my research skills and like all that fun stuff. It's great. I love it. I probably sound so annoying, but that's the point of these. I'm going to be ranting and being annoying. So that's pretty much it for the first episode of the Accounting Diaries. You know, let me know below your challenges with ERP implementation and like any struggles you went through, whether or not you were actually going through the actual change or it was like maybe the aftermath of the actual change, and like, did you like the system before better than the new system? You know, all that fun stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see y'all next week, and bye!